Hey, let's face it, your sleep sucks. I'm sorry to say that, but according to the National Sleep Foundation, 71% of us over 50 have some sort of sleep problem, and I am one of them. I've talked this month about adopting new routines to set yourself up in the month of October so you can get ready for all the holidays. Drinking more water was the first one, and then swapping out sugar, and then moving more throughout the day. And the last one I'm late for, and I think it's the most important: sleep. But to be honest, you guys, I've struggled with what to tell you because I don't have the answers yet. Hi, my name is Amy Van Loo. For those of you who don't know me, from Be Healthy Enough, a community that uses the power of shared purpose, accountability, and videos to help people over 50 create and embrace their own healthy identity. My role in the community is to do what I love to do, share my experience and my knowledge, and inspire you to find what being healthy enough means to you, because everybody's different. Anyway, as soon as you join, let me know you're here. I've got my screen right here. We'll get started. It's a perfect time of year to talk about sleep with the time changes. Oh my gosh, I wanted to go to bed at 6 o'clock last night and I was up at 4, even though I was up a lot throughout the night. Anyway, it's a bad time of year for sleep, so hopefully I'll inspire you with some knowledge and we'll get going, because sleep has been my nemesis for the last few months. The National Sleep Foundation recommends that people should be getting about 7 to 9 hours of sleep, adults, all right? I don't care about that number because, hi Deborah, because everybody is different. One person may only need 6 to 5 hours and the other person might need 9 to 10. Everybody's different. And to be honest, the quantity isn't the issue. I think it's the quality, and that's what I want to talk about today, because things happen as we get older with the quality of our sleep. In my world, sleep is everything. If you're not sleeping, it's hard to lose weight. Your memory starts to fade. You just don't feel good. You don't feel like doing things. You don't feel like exercising. And another thing happens when you're sleepy is you crave comfort foods, and then that starts a vicious cycle. So over the past year, I've started to get hot flashes. It's really been affecting my sleep. I'm in bed for 7 to 9 hours, but I said it's not good quality. I'm up and down. I appreciate the Be Healthy Enough community so much. I put the word out. I asked how people were sleeping and what they did to get better sleep. Thank you for all your advice. I really appreciate it. And I hope that someone else can benefit from what this community has to offer. I've researched and listened to so many experts this last month. Dr. Michael Breus is his name, B-R-E-U-S. He's a sleep expert. And then another great guy, if you want to research him, his name is Sean Stevenson. He is a hoot, and he's even got a sleep podcast that's really funny, and I've got a couple of tidbits from him in here. So I've done what everybody's recommend, because you get a barrage of do this. The sleep experts say do this. And I've experimented with some of them and have seen some results. But unfortunately, I'm sorry to say, I don't have that magic routine for you, because as I said earlier, everybody is different. And the biggest bummer of them all is that over 50, things start to happen that cause it to be even harder to get good quality sleep. The first and foremost is that our sleep time shifts. And you guys remember when you were a teenager, you could stay up till midnight and sleep till noon. And no, you weren't being lazy. That was your internal clock. That was your circadian rhythm, they call it. And studies and science has proven that as we age, the circadian rhythms shift, our internal clocks shift. And we want to go to bed earlier, and we're more alert earlier in the morning. You guys know it, early bird specials. We all talk about it. I know. It's even with the time change. I'm usually one to want to go to bed at least by 9 o'clock. That's it, that one. The other thing that happens is that, and I want to make sure I get this right, according to Dr. Michael Breus, our brains actually change. We have brain waves that dictate how deep and how rested and restorative, that's the word I'm looking for, our sleep is. When we're younger, the amplitude of those waves is good enough and it gives us that restful sleep. But as we age, the brain waves get smaller, and so our sleep is not as restorative or restful, it's lighter. And so knowing this, knowing that, yeah, when I'm getting older and my sleep is lighter, it makes perfect sense to me because I'm becoming more awake more throughout the night for little things that never disturbed me before, little creaks and noises and things like that, and hot flashes, which I didn't have before, but that's another story. All right. The other big thing that happens over 50 is we gotta go. You know what I'm talking about. You're getting up 1 or 2 times a night. The National Sleep Foundation said that 53% of adults over 55 have to get up at least once or twice during the night. It could be that you're doing the right thing and drinking more water, letting your body get hydrated for your health. But if you are getting up more than 2 times a night, or if it's like every couple of hours, I really urge you to go see your doctor, because it could be an internal problem that you need to get addressed quickly. The other thing, if you are getting up 1 or 2 times a night, it's okay, as long as you can get back to sleep. That's my biggest problem. Hi, Denise. Thank you for joining me out in the boonies. Good job. All right, so where am I at? Oh, I'm going to get as a little side note. These are some fun things. My biggest problem, as I said, is not falling asleep. My biggest problem is staying asleep. It's probably to do with I'm sleeping lighter and then my hot flashes, which I'll tell you about in a minute. But it's also once I get awake, I'm awake, my monkey brain starts to go. How many can agree with that? Got your chores done. Good, Denise. Now you can take a little rest and learn how to sleep. You get awake. Why do you worry about the most stupid things in the middle of the night? My husband teases me all the time. I worry about things like sprinklers or the pets or something silly in the middle of the night. So what I try to do, 3 little tricks that I've learned from the community. I love you guys so much. Thank you for sharing. The first one actually is mine. It's the 3-part breath. I use it all the time. I use it in my exercise classes. I use it when I try to sleep. I use it when I'm stressed or in traffic. You breathe in for 4, hold for 7, and then let it out for 8. The whole idea is getting out of your brain and helping to relax your body, okay? That's the idea, get out of that monkey brain. So you do that 3 times and it really helps you relax. The second one I love is I lay back and I imagine a deep blue sky with a sky rider, you know, with the trail of clouds, and he or she is riding a 99, and you see it slowly go 99. Then it goes 98. Stay out of your brain, keep breathing, try to rest your body, then 97. I have yet to get to 50. I am out like a light, which is great, and my monkey brain has stopped. The latest one, which is really, really fun, is I use the alphabet, A, B, C, D, E, and I pick a theme. Fruits, animals, people's names, and I think of a word that starts with A, and then with B, and then with C. For instance, apple, berry, cantaloupe, and I go through. I usually can't make it to P, and I'm asleep. My monkey brain is gone, and I'm good. Animal names, I have yet to find one that starts with a U or an X. I dare you. I've looked, and I can't find one. All right, a side note done. All right, 3 more things that happen as we get older. The hot flashes, darn it. Hormones happen, changes happen, and I'm one of the unlucky ones that has gotten hot flashes. I know some of you haven't had it. Oh, I'm so jealous. They have been the bane of my existence for the last few months. I have tried a lot of things, acupuncture, herbs, increasing my exercise, essential oils, and yes, they have worked for the time being, but right now it's eluding me and it's driving me insane. I get really hot, throw off the covers, get really cold, put them back on. It happens every 2 hours. And if you're waking up every 2 hours, it's not good quality sleep, especially with a monkey brain like mine and trying to go back to sleep. The other unfortunate thing that happens as we age is it's easy to pack on the pounds. Yes, our metabolism slows down when you get older. It's a fact of life. And if you pack on the pounds and it goes around your throat, you can constrict your windpipe, and that can cause snoring or worse, sleep apnea. Any of those two, either of those two, is you're not getting enough oxygen, and you need good oxygen to sleep. The bad thing too is if you're sleeping next to someone that snores, you know that you lose approximately 1 hour of sleep if you sleep next to someone that snores, or if you snore, you're causing a lack of an hour of sleep. It's a good reason for separate bedrooms, Ed. Anyway, all right, the last one, and I'm so grateful I haven't had experience with this, and hopefully none of you have, is restless leg syndrome. All right, it's a thing that happens as we get older, and you can't, you have this urge to move throughout the night, usually your legs. And usually it happens and it gets worse as we get older. And unfortunately, doctors don't know a lot about it. They think it might be related into the decrease of dopamine, which is a brain chemical as we age, or a reduction in iron, which can also happen as we age. I hope I didn't scare you. If you are sleeping like a baby, and I know Deborah, you do, thank you. Melatonin has not worked for me. It helps me fall asleep, but then I still wake up, darn it. But I'm glad you shared that with the community. That's perfect. I hope you're sleeping. If you're not, and you want to stop banging your sleepy head against the wall, you have to figure it out and you have to experiment. Yay, it's my favorite thing to do. You have to become your own scientist. You can listen, and I love getting advice from everybody, but you've got to try that advice yourself. First and foremost, how to experiment. This is what I'm going to teach you a little bit how to do today, is you have to start with the basics. And the basics, every person I researched said these basic things. First and foremost, you have to set a schedule. Even on the weekends, everybody said, set that schedule. They also said, turn your bedroom into a sleep sanctuary. I know that's sometimes hard to do. Maybe for some people. For me, it's a little bit difficult. The other thing too is screens and caffeine. Caffeine, you need to stop drinking caffeine if you're sensitive to this at least 8, and from Deborah's feedback this morning, 10 hours before you go to bed. If you are super sensitive, you might want to try reducing caffeine altogether. I've got a great herbal tea called Ticino that I love. It has no caffeine, but it has that flavor and that feel of coffee. The other thing you need to do is avoid alcohol. I know, you guys know I love a glass of wine, and I've been experimenting, and wine does help me fall asleep, but it does unfortunately keep me awake at night, so I have to limit it. And Sean Stevenson gave a good tip. Set yourself a booze curfew. What happens if you have alcohol in your system, your body's trying to metabolize that, and that will keep you awake. So if you set a time, maybe 2 or 3 hours before you fall asleep, that you've stopped drinking, and let your body metabolize that alcohol, it'll help not wake you up. And you can also dilute it with water, which was great advice from him, or try giving it up altogether. I know. The other thing I want you to do is put your phone on Do Not Disturb. I set my phone, if you need help setting a Do Not Disturb, let me know. It's in your settings. And I put it from 9 to 5:30. My niece is living in Australia, and my mom and dad and the 2 of us are in a group chat, and those guys can get so chatty in the middle of the night, it drives me crazy. The other thing, really cool thing I learned, is a lot of the problems with screen is the blue light that's emitted from the screens, and there's something called a night switch. Kyle told me about this yesterday, and you can set your phone to go into a night mode, which it pulls out some of the blue light and it's more orange. I set mine last night for 8 o'clock because I wasn't ready to turn off my phone quite yet. I was doing email, but it made it feel a little softer and a little bit lighter on my eyes, which was nice, refreshing. So thanks, Kyle, for that tidbit. And then Deborah, thanks again. Deborah, you've been a wealth of knowledge today. Thank you for forwarding that email to me today about 10, 2, and 1. All these things I said, you can boil it down to 3 basics. 10 hours before bed and stop caffeine. 2 hours before bed and stop eating. Eating can disrupt. If you've got indigestion, And those lighter brain waves might wake you up a little bit more. But be careful, don't be too hungry either. I find if I'm too hungry, I can't sleep. And then 1 hour before bed, no screens. 10, 2, and 1. I thought that was great advice, and thank you for sharing that, Deborah. All right, so if you've got the basics, you don't have them, it's time to experiment with one of those. And I really want you to think really hard about those basics. I know some of them might be challenging. Screen time, TV time is for me. And I know that you might take it for granted that those basics are not for you, or that sleep isn't important for you. But believe me, good quality sleep is more important than exercise. I'd rather you sleep longer than get up and exercise. The experts say this as well, not just me. Better than your food and your stress. If you're not sleeping, you cannot feel your best. So I want you guys to really take this seriously. Get those basics down. Start experimenting with some more. If you've got those basics like I do and you want to try something else, I am trying with my hot flashes to not take hormones, and I'm trying to not take any prescribed sleeping pills. That's just my belief. Everybody's different. And I am going to try some alternatives. But I'd like you to start your experiment here. Get your journal. You have to track. With all good experiments, you have to know how they're performing. You have to track your sleep. I use my Fitbit, or you can do a 1 to 10 scale. You know, if you wake up groggy, you know you haven't got a good sleep. So 1 to 10, set yourself a score. Give yourself a week. So set yourself some basics, or your experiment. You're going to do the same thing every week because your body, it takes time to get used to a routine. Track your performance. If you see improvement, boom, you got your routine. If not, take the next one. It's tempting to try everything at once. That over-the-counter, the new pillow, that noise cancellation machine. Try one at a time, because that way you know what works. All right, keep going. And remember, if you haven't been sleeping well for a while, please go see your doctor or a sleep specialist, and take this very serious, because it is very important to sleep. All right, imagine you've just had 7 hours. I can't remember the last time I had 7 hours of good sleep. You wake up, you're like, oh, so refreshed and awake and ready to take on the day. Think about that. Think about how wonderful you feel, and make sure you make sleep a priority. Thank you again for sharing. Deborah, thank you. Reading in bed is great. Please share with me what makes you, muscle cramps, Denise. I know, I forgot about that one. A lot of people have muscle cramps. And I know, Denise, that drinking, tonic water has helped you. I have had a lot of clients with muscle cramps. The advice I've researched and been given, tonic water was one of them. Making sure a magnesium is another. They call that the sleeping mineral. And I use Calm. I get it at Sprouts, and I put it in my tea, and it helps me fall asleep, but it doesn't help me stay asleep as much as I'd like to. I think I need to experiment with that a little bit more. Yes, please share with me what works for you. If you're watching this later, please, I urge you to type in, if you are sleeping well, what works for you, what you've tried, and that would help me and help the community. If you know anybody else that needs some advice, make sure when you're done you share this video with them. And I hope you guys have a wonderful week. I'm so appreciative of everybody joining in and giving me feedback, and I hope to see you again in the next video. Bye for now. Bye, Deborah. Bye, Denise. Bye, everybody.